What's up everyone, my name's Al from Games Real, and today we're taking a look at a Mega Drive / Genesis game that didn't quite make it to release. That's right, by Technopop. This is Beyond Zero Tolerance, which is kind of an impressive feat for the Mega Drive when you think about it, because let's face it, games like Doom, as you can see right here, yeah, didn't quite hit the spot, did they? Although apparently that is now debunked as a fake. I'm not entirely sure anyway. Anyway, as you can see, I've taken a look at Zero Tolerance, the first one, a few years ago on the real sort of start of this channel. But now I thought I'd throw another one in the mix, and let's take a look at the cancelled version. But it did get ROM dumped, so you can play this, and the download link is attached. Let's take a look. Ah man, it feels great to be looking at some videos for the Sega Genesis. That's right, I haven't done a lot of these videos that recently because obviously I've been heavily focusing on the Sega Dreamcast, but let's take a look at Beyond Zero Tolerance, the cancelled game for the Genesis. Now it does start out with a kind of little scrolling text, very much kind of like a Star Wars opening, but yeah, this opens exactly as the first game does, explaining that you've basically got to go and ransack the hell out of an alien homeworld and kick some fucking ass. But is it actually any good though? That's the thing, because the first one was a pretty decent looking game, and especially for a game on the first Genesis console, I've got to say, it looked pretty good, it played pretty good, it was okay. Now we obviously have this one here where we're looking at all the crew members you can have. It's not just two. I think it was only two you had in the first game. But now you've got access to five characters. That's right, on Beyond Zero Tolerance. Now, as you're going to see, this game is very pink. That's right. Yeah, this game is so pink that you will probably see pink for the rest of your life. The first game obviously wasn't like this at all, or certainly not as pink as this. The first one almost was a little bit bland, but it kind of caught the atmosphere of essentially a space horror game, a space first-person shooter game. This is kind of gone over the top, but then again, let's not forget, this is not a complete game. This is not finished. So this isn't necessarily what the final product would have looked like. Which is, let's face it, it's a bit of a sigh of relief when you think this isn't necessarily what the final game would have looked like. Now I have tweeted Technopop to ask if this was what the game was going to actually finally end, the final product would end up being like. I've had no response yet. Don't get me wrong, if I do get a response, I'll let all of you know. Now, I do think, though, this is still quite an achievement on the Genesis. It still looks good for a first-person shooter running on that kind of hardware. And let's face it, yeah, it's not actually 3D. It's obviously 2D and very well done. But yeah, I think it looks good. The only issue I really find is slowdown. When you've got more than a couple enemies coming at you, looking around becomes hard. It becomes hard to shoot. It kind of gets jerky to the point where it's more of a struggle than it is anything else. It's like steering through mud. The first game had a bit of an issue with this as well, but this seems a lot worse. I don't know if they were trying to do more with it. I'm guessing they probably were, being that it was a second title, but it just slows down. Sound doesn't seem to really take any issue at all. Sound seems to work absolutely fine, but speed and looking around and shooting, everything just seems to slow down at times. Not all the time, but it is some of the time. Now, this game obviously does boast a two-player co-op, exactly like you would have had on the first one if you do have the link cable, which I don't. As you can see here, a picture of the link cable. This is what you could have had. There's also an image on the Technopop website, as you can see here, which shows how to actually create a link cable. So if you're tech savvy, then why don't you give it a go? Now, this is a funny one. Like I said, I like this game for what it's trying to be, but I don't love it. It's such a shame because I actually quite enjoyed the first one. I got into it, whereas this one, I just think it's too pink. It's way too over the top. It just doesn't seem as fun as the first one. you know, the fun factor's gone there. There's some humorous bits like the lift scenes here, you know, with that kind of lift music. That's kind of funny. It's nice to have a nice selection of characters, so when you die, you continue with another character. But this is not one I'd ever probably really want to take a look back at, play again. It's just not worth it. But if you do want to give it a go, the download link is in the description. I've been Al from Games React. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon.